All right, I believe we are live.
Yep, I just unmuted. So how long have you been in Australia?
So I've been in Australia for, if we put it all together, about 15 years. So I lived here as a kid back in the early 90s, and I came back in 2010, and then the rest of the time I've lived in Dubai. Uh, so that's sort of where, yeah, I was born, grew up in Dubai. I still go back like, well, I was just there for like 2.5 months over the sort of Christmas period. But yeah, I've been in Australia a while, so I don't particularly have the accent, but there are hints of it. I don't know if you can. Yeah,
The more you talk, the more you'll pick it up, right?
mate, I can put it on if you want me to. That's not a problem. But
I
you
mean, if you
just
want to
have to
do an
ask,
impression,
hey.
you know.
The impressions are they work. Like I'm originally from Pakistan, so sometimes I need to go like, oh, I we don't have jaywalking in Pakistan, so that's how I get away from jaywalking. So it
Okay,
all fits in, yeah.
I gotcha. Use the different cultures to your ability. You know what I mean?
I
All right,
mean,
so
yeah. Sorry, you go on.
no, you're good. I cut you guys off. I just want to let you know I sent both the links to you guys.
Okay, let me check it.
Awesome. I'll share that on our server.
All right, cool. We got all the formal things out of the way.
Whew.
What's up, Oside? Appreciate you stopping by, man. All right, cool. So I got the thing working where I can see comments. We got the tweets out. So I guess we can just kind of chill until some people come in. But are there any projects? I guess some softball questions. Any projects you guys been looking at? Anything exciting? I know you said that you were doing some things with Ada Army. So I think you were preparing to mint some Ada Army, right?
Yeah, yeah, we did a collab earlier in the year, just like a one for one with Ada Army. And we did a bunch of other collabs as well. And the Ada Army team is great. They're originally from a lot of them are originally from Canberra as well, but they're now spread across the world. So we've been talking for ages, and we decided, yeah, let's get on and do this Ninjaz class in the Ada Army new collection. And yeah, they've got a bunch of sort of army ninjas, which is super cool. And yeah, I fell a bit sick yesterday night. So mints in Australia, like they're always at 4 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning. I try and wake up. put on an alarm. But yeah, this time it didn't happen. Now I'm stuck in the queue and I've been at around 70 something for a while. So I don't think I'm going to be getting one off the mint, but perhaps on the secondary. I'll probably have to go in and buy later. But yeah, it's an awesome project. I love what those guys do. They've started their new minting system as well, I think, which has been super smooth. So that's definitely one. Another one I'm looking at is Sensei Across Paradise. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're minting in a couple of days. Um, Raul, the guy who runs it, is a pretty top bloke. He's got some good stuff going on. Their art is really nice. Split World, of course. I don't think there's anybody who's not interested in Split World at the moment. And I think Ada Army is actually doing their mint through their minting services. So that's super cool. Yeah, and then we've got our own mint on the first, but it's a very small 500 NFT mint. Just utility passes, no rarity, nothing of that sort. I won't be minting in my own mint, but yeah, that's one that I'm looking forward to. So yeah, pretty excited. You guys have it good. You don't have to wake up at 4 in the morning to get in line to mint, like in bed, and you pull your laptop out. For us, I'm lucky in that I have awesome community members. And if I ask them, someone or the other is always willing to mint for me, just because I can't do 3 a.m.s every other day. So, what are you guys looking forward to?
I mean, basically what you said. I was looking at Ada Army. I actually minted two. I wanted to mint two to start off with and kind of gauge what the floor price was doing. That's kind of how I go about it. And I was like editing a video and I was like, oh crap, I'm in the queue. Like, let me see where I am. And it turns out it had already been my turn for like a few minutes. So I was like, oh crap, I tried to send the transaction real quick and it sent like 30 seconds after it timed out. And I was like, no. So I had to go re-enter the queue. And I think I got in with like about 400 remaining. And I got two at the moment. So yeah, I'm just going to sit on those. I'm pretty excited that they're doing some really cool things with royalties for life, the 1.5% for every single sale on the aftermarket, as long as you were the minting minting wallet. And their peppermint minting service seemed to work really well. So I'm excited to see all that and how they buy their blue chips in the future with that.
Okay, so it's my turn then. And okay, so I did not get into 8 Army. I didn't have enough time kind of to research. I've been kind of researching some projects that have already kind of had their time to shine, I guess you would say. So I got into the Fresh Mutant Click. I got into that. I'm trying to think. Obviously, Split World and Blue Bots. I've been kind of like looking more into that. Um, and then I was waiting for something to happen with Space Buds, but unfortunately, with the 1 year anniversary, nothing really happened or whatever. So it was just like kind of up to the community now to kind of do something. And then we talked about Retroheads a little bit, um, and kind of their system of utility and what they're going to bring. And so I think I also got like a couple more Kongs, because I like the chilled Kongs. And so yeah, other than that, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to. Blue Bots, Split World, and then I kind of looked at what is it? Is it like BioLeaf technology or what was it called?
Yeah, it's BioLeaf. Let me actually look it up before I butcher it.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher it. Yeah, Brightleaf. I'm sorry, Brightleaf Laboratories, right? It does not mean I'm not interested in it, okay? Just because I don't know necessarily the exact name. You have to understand there's like hundreds of projects that I have to like go down the list on Discord and on Twitter and like check on. So, but yeah, Brightleaf Laboratories. I kind of want to know what their deal is because they kind of look organic and robots. And do you guys have any thoughts on it or anything like that?
From what I've seen is just it seems like it's very new, so I don't know if there's too much information to really go off of. But yeah, I'm also very excited about it. I would love to hear from their team. If anybody can show them this clip or anything, send it to them. I want to talk. I want to know all about it. It looks really sick.
Yeah, it looks like a cool project. I think someone invited me to their server super early on. And they had the grow your trees thing happening on the server, some sort of game that you can play. But I haven't followed it much except for I've seen, images and stuff, and they've got some cool partnerships going on. I think it'll be, yeah, definitely looks good. Definitely something that the space needs.
So, what is your largest holding of CNFTs? Are you like a huge collector, or do you just kind of buy and dabble a little bit here and there?
I try to support a lot of smaller projects. For example, a project that I really like is Eden 7. I don't know if you guys know them. I've got like 10 of them, 10 of their NFTs. They're minting at the moment. Uh, any sort of project that comes out of one of like the Ada Ninjas community members ends up launching a project, I always tend to go in and buy quite a few. Um, what do I have at the moment? Let me open my wallet. I know I've got a clay, I've got a goat. Let's see. Yeah, I've got a couple of Ada Army. Um, what else are we looking at? I bought a few Earth Natives recently. They're super awesome. I like those guys. Bought some nifty creatures. I have a deluxe spot on Future Fest. So a bunch of random stuff. Like I've got a few NFTs on Ethereum as well, but mostly I just buy Cardano NFTs since probably like August or September.
Okay, and what sort of Ethereum NFTs do you have?
So really early old school ones, like a couple of rug pulls that are just sitting there from when I started off. Of course, lost like $350 or whatever. Uh, I have an Angel Baby Hit Squad, if that counts. That definitely counts. And I've got a couple of random ones like Gambling Apes or something. I've got a DGen Tunes. I got into that because the CNFT community is like big on it. So yeah, just a few here and there. I sold most of them. I sold most of them at like decent profits. I remember minting like four Gambling Apes and then selling them for like 5 to 10x. So that was cool. That was like in August or something, which was pretty nice. But I don't think I really got into too many projects the same way I did with Cardano, in that I've got to support the project. It was more of like the flipping learning curve back on Ethereum. So Angel Baby Hit Squad's really the only one, and DGen Tunes at the moment. I'm just holding Angel Baby because, of course, of what all that they do, and then DGen Tunes just seems cool. Yeah. What about you guys?
I personally don't know anything about ETH NFTs. When I first got into NFTs, I was super, super late, and I was still very broke. So I was just like, all right, how can I get into NFTs? And I started looking at Ethereum, and I started looking at the gas fees, and I was like, okay, I can't even play in this field. Let me go, find some like playgrounds where I can go play with my ADA. And I had a lot of ADA because my best friend told me to get into ADA when I was, maybe about a year ago or so. So I actually had ADA, and I was like, okay, well, I can actually play with this because I bought it early before, because when I got in, it was actually like three ADA or $3 a piece rather. So I was like, okay, I have a decent bit of ADA to play with, and yeah, I basically only own Cardano NFTs.
So with mine, I own a little over like 1,000 in total NFTs. And so I've minted just about everything. I've held on to certain projects like the Threefold Bold project and stuff like that. I've had some ninjas. I was there for Mint Day back in the day. and um, let's see, but like notoriously went into Kong's pretty hard, and then aped out of that real quick, or Konged out of that, whatever you want to say. And then yeah, I mean, other than that, I hold, some of my lizards and raptors, and like I have an angel baby hit squad. I kind of wanted to get a degen tune, but then there was a piece of me that was like, I wanted to support fettuccine more. So if I was to buy another ETH project, I would probably be like, nah, I'll just mint another angel baby. You know what I mean, to support a Cardano guy. So yeah, but other than that, I did some crypto kitties for my kids. I showed them that on Ethereum, and they loved it. Making new cats and other things like that was great for them. But yeah, um, other than that, I mean, dude, I have pages upon pages of NFTs in the old wallet. So, and I spread them out because it seems like it reacts a little slower after you hold so many. Like it's really rough to like load it. So
Gotcha. So I guess we're about 5 minutes in. We have a decent amount of people here. Why don't you introduce yourself, who you are, and maybe your team a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Zushan. Yeah, one of the co-founders of Ada Ninjas, based here in the capital of Australia, Canberra, for anyone who doesn't know that. Tiny little place between Sydney and Melbourne. Perfect place to start an NFT project because nothing much happens here. Everything's super close by, 5 minutes walking to go to the shops, go to the cinemas, all that sort of stuff. It's lovely, and it's beautiful. It's a valley, so you've got like hills all around, and yeah, lovely, lovely place. So myself and the other co-founder Tommy are mates in real life. We live about 5 minutes from each other. And yeah, we launched Ada Ninjas back in September last year with the first drop in October. So still like, now people are like, you're OGs. I'm like, no, like OGs are like April projects from last year, right? We're still like way after that. Um, but yeah, a little bit about the team. Besides myself and Tommy, everyone lives in different parts of the world. So Ignacio, our chief creative officer, who runs the lore and story side of things, is based in Germany. We work closely with NFT makers, so they handle all our back end development. They're based in Germany as well. Our front end development is managed by Leaf Agency. They are in Germany as well. And then we have our music partners, Mirai Music, who are based out of LA, and they help with all the music production, that sort of stuff. And then our team, our ops managers in the Philippines, two of our manga artists are in the Philippines, our NFT artist is in India. All four of them work for us full time. And then we've got some part-time team members like on the social media front. Our Discord manager, Michael, who's Vivid on our server, was a community member who now runs everything on Discord. Same thing with our Twitter manager, Dom, who's a big community member, started off there and then came on as a team member. And then we've got a few other people. So quite a large team. We've got a concept artist as well. We're working on a bunch of different stuff that's going on. Yeah, so quite a big team spread out across almost every continent, which is super cool. It's quite the challenge with time zones. But you would think I'd be better at it, right? After assuming that this call was yesterday, having to talk to people in the US, in Asia, in Europe all the time. I should be better at it. I've got all these different like softwares and extensions which show me all the times, yet I still mess it up. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm super grateful to have an incredible team and an incredible bunch of people working to work with on a daily basis. And except for Tommy and I, no one has ever met in person yet. So it's super cool. I think CNFT Con will be awesome because a lot of us will be catching up there, and I'm definitely making the trip over the Pacific Ocean.
That is an incredible team. Oh my god. How many people is that total? Like 10, 12?
Yeah, so it's about if you include partners, it's about like 14 or 15, and then if you include admins, it's like about 22 or 23 because we do sort of remunerate our admins as well.
That is awesome. So I know that you talked about your manga series and some music, and recently I saw that you were talking about some music passes. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So we've got so our first song just hit 100,000 streams on Spotify, which is like so overwhelming. It's awesome, right? It is an incredible thing. And then, what we've done with each facet of our business is the first release is we show what we can create. So before we launched the first set of NFTs and the manga, we did a light novel, which was created completely by us. The same way we released the first song. However, 50% of the lyrics were written by and voted on by the community. So the lyrics of the first song, 50% of them are written by community members. So the natural evolution was then with the second song, it has to have some sort of integration with NFTs. And we didn't want to make it something super big. Like obviously our main Ninjas collections are huge, and we've got the burn coming up after the release of the third clan. But that's still, a while away. So what we did is 500 NFTs. Essentially, we were looking at it from the context of if we can create a self-sustainable model to bring in big artists to perform on these songs while at the same time supporting CNFT artists. That would like musicians rather, that would be really beneficial for the ecosystem. And we're seeing that already with on our new song we've got Billy Martin, who's of course already in the space, but Katie Bell, who's got a huge following on social media, and Iago, and they're both artists, musicians from outside the space, and their audience is coming into Cardano and coming into the NFT space and having the opportunity to learn about NFTs and crypto in general. That's been our focus. So we've got 500 NFTs launching on the 1st of April. If you hold a Ninja, it's 50% off. So it's 50 ADA. You really only need to buy one to access all the utility. That's what I'm saying to some of our amazing whales are like, I'm gonna buy 10, and I'm like, you don't need to buy 10. Like I appreciate the support. If you want to support us, sure, but maybe you want to gift it out to a mate or something like that. And that's cool, but one or two is good enough. There aren't that many. Let's spread the utilities for everybody. So we've got two sets within the 500. There are 470 that we're calling the Cubs. So this is the season one clan song, and their emblem or their sort of spirit animal is the lion. So we went with Cubs and Lions. And then the remaining 30 are the Lions, which are 10 NFTs of each artist. And these will be auctioned out by those artists. So Billy will be doing it on his Discord server. Iago, who is already super huge in the NFT space, he's held Bored Apes for like a long time, that kind of thing. And then Katie, who's completely new to it. So we'll be auctioning it out to their communities. And oh, my bell is ringing. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So give me just 1 second. I will be right back. Let just remember what I was talking about. Sorry.
So do you want me to sing some intermission music or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's get the lucky lo-fi.
I'm, dude, I'm just kidding. So that's cool. I had no idea his team was that large, right?
Yeah, me
And
neither.
so, like I said, somebody put out like a Twitter question, and they were like, name some of your like regrets, purchase wise or whatever it may be. And I said, well, I got rid of 80 Kongs, okay, first and foremost. And then on top of that, um, I never got a development team. And looking back in hindsight, it was like I should have done that, you know, because I still to this day need help, you know. And the thing is like, um, you're always second guessing your own success or whatever it may be. And so had I just went go for broke the first time, right? And just really like hit it out of the gates running, I'm wondering like, oh, well, where would I be now? Or what could have the possibilities been? And so that was one thing like I seriously want to like look into. It might be a little late now, but definitely getting an actual development team, a squad to help, because taking on everything, like being the face of the project, unfortunately, and being the social media manager, and doing the concept art myself, and like doing this, that, and the other. It's too much. It really is. And shout out to the people that are in the space just by themselves or whatever, support those projects, because dude, those guys are put in work. But with a dev team like yours, dude, that takes so much coordination. So much coordination. It's like, holy crap. You have people from different walks of life, different languages, possibly. You know what I mean? And like to all work together is kind of crazy. So hats off to you as well.
Yeah,
And that's
I was thinking about, is are the drops enough to cover the price for all of those team members? Because that's a lot of team members, and that's gonna be a lot of money. So like I'm just wondering, like long term, are there gonna have to be consistent drops to continue to pay them, or how is that gonna work?
Yeah, that's a super relevant point. And just before I address that, I'll just say that I'll be minting some lucky lizards after this. So for sure, we'll do that definitely. And I think there's a fine line between doing it yourself and having too many people on your team and sort of finding that balance. And that comes to your question, Atlantic. I think what we are looking at the moment is how do we branch out? So we've recently rebranded as a multimedia business, and not just a solely an NFT business. And what that means is we push out on the music front. We are starting to talk to potential production companies about an anime. We are discussing what that would mean in terms of our IP and licensing that out. And maybe that's a matter of, okay, if we do an animation, then you get a percentage for producing it, and we get a percentage for obviously holding the IP. So these are the sort of conversations that we're having at the back end at the moment. Um, I will be honest, before ADA dropped to like zero point 0.7, we had a larger team. We had a team of about, I would say, almost 30, so now it's 22. And we cut 6 or 7 people. So I think that's, where like I guess, it's a matter of experience and what you've done in the past. I've run small businesses in the past. I used to work as an academic, then I was working in the government. So making some of those quick decisions and making those hard decisions is really important, because yes, the community is lovely, and we all have a friendship uh, and a relationship, and all the projects talk to each other, that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you have to look at your project like a business. Uh, and on the note of, will it continue to be NFT drops? No. Uh, We've had a clear goal from the start. There will be 3 sets of Ninjaz NFTs, and this music NFT element, it's almost like we've got a different facet in our business where we've got the music side of things running, the ninjas and the clans and the manga side of things running. So we produce about 15 to 20 pages of manga a week. And the community decides on it in that week, and then our artists go on to produce it. So that is an expensive undertaking, right? Getting manga created, let alone being fortunate enough to have an amazing writing team. We've got three writers on our team. Again, one who was in our community as a community member and a holder, and now he's become our head writer, who work under Ignacio. And for all of them to take in the community's feedback, put that into the story, produce it in a week to 2 weeks later, and present it. We are super lucky to have people who are able to actually have that creative thinking to do that, because it's quite an undertaking. And at the back end, like you guys were saying, it's no easy feat to sort of coordinate everyone and check up and being in the different time zones. So I think in that sense, yeah, it's not easy, but it's a lot of fun. And I think if you get the right people on board, it is doable. And in the sense, in the context of us being able to sort of manage our funding, we are doing more and more things outside of the NFT world to create income streams, which are gradually starting to kick off. And I think that will enable us to grow and also provide utility and value to our holders in terms of what we continue to create.
Okay, so the stream of your music on Spotify, that revenue is going to be given back to the team to keep it kind of running.
So Spotify revenue is peanuts, right?
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, if you're sorry, I just got muted there. If you're essentially kind of 100,000 streams is what, like 300, $400, you know? Uh, we haven't even talked to our music partners about it because it's so marginal. If they want to keep it, that's fine. They deserve it. We're not too picky about that kind of thing. However, like, yeah, if we get 1 million streams, then that's like 3 grand or something. That's still okay. That's like someone's salary for a month on the team, which is good. But again, really, you know, the key thing for us with the music NFTs is, and we asked our community about this and they were happy with it. They're like, oh, I gotta dish out 50 ADA to get this utility pass, which gives me all this cool access to a bunch of different things. So, they get access to the next song, FaceTimes with the artists and the music team. They'll get NFTs dropped to them when we hit milestones. So like 1 million streams, first place on iTunes, blah, 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 whitelist access and discounts to future music passes, or they get the utility of the future music passes and stuff like that. So for $50, they're getting real stuff that they get to use. So for our community, that's super beneficial, and they're happy with it, rather than us randomly rolling it amongst 4,500 holders for 500 NFTs. They're like, yeah, we'll rather do it this way. So that's to create a sustainable model for our NFTs, for our music NFTs, and to bring in bigger artists. Like we have an awesome music PR person in LA, Gianluca, who is an amazing guy, and the sort of people and the names he drops are like, I'm like, oh my God, if I got to collab with this musician, I think I can die happy, like that kind of thing. But the reality of it is, like, he spoke to a really big artist, and they said, "Yeah, we'll jump on to the song, but it'll cost you 150,000 USD, right?" And we're just like, "Yeah, I don't know, like maybe if we like, I'm sure if we were Bored Ape Yacht Club, we could do that, but we're not. So we're to look at it like that. That's just how it is, and that's how we have to go about it. I hope that answers what you were sort of asking.
Yeah, I knew like Spotify I guess didn't pay that much, but I guess I didn't also realize it was that little either. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I have hundreds of questions, but Brandon, why don't you take the next one?
Okay. So looking at your bevy of content that you've provided for the Cardano ecospace or whatever, number one, I guess, what did you learn the most from your first drop, right, to your second?
Yeah. Well, two polar opposites, right? With our second drop, it was, a lot of people would argue smoothest mint of the year. Yeah. It was super, super smooth for season two. We gave 48 hours to our holders of season one. If you held one, you could mint the equivalent. So if you held 10, you could mint 10, and they had 48 hours to go and mint as many as they wanted. So we sold out 50% in the first 48 hours. And then when the public sale opened, I don't think I've ever had that much fun in a mint because people were chatting and going, I still didn't get one of the rares. I'm going to mint another and another. And we were rallying them on. We're like, oh, you're going to get it. And that kind of thing. And there were like hundreds of people doing that. And it was like a smooth 9 to 12 hours and we sold out. The first mint, though, for anyone who knows about the infamous wallet gate, as it's now called, we sold out in 23 minutes. We also had about 150,000 ADA in the wrong wallet. And we then returned that within 36 hours. But yeah, that was quite a learning curve, and it was a human error. We made a mistake. We all laugh about it now. Like we call it Walletgate and stuff, and we did a lot in return for the people to compensate them. So everyone got back to ADA. We created the Forgotten Spirit series. We gave them whitelists for season two. Yeah, so there was quite a bit of stuff there. So I think a lot that we learned. Yeah.
It's always awesome to see that after that, when you corrected things, that come your second mint, everything was so smooth. You know what I mean? And everything worked out for you guys. Because you guys are like, you're a huge project, you know, just based on what you've released, number one. And number two, the things that you're actually doing, the ideas that you guys have, uh, are, I think, really great. And I think you're going in the right direction for sure. Not that you need my reassurance, but you know what I mean? I think you guys are doing the right thing. Um, have you guys ever looked at like a mobile battle game or anything like that, or any way to involve mobile?
Yeah, so we are working on our PvP fighter game, and basically we are looking at creating that, and that's in the process. It won't be on your phone starting off, but eventually, uh, yeah, it could get there. Yeah, I definitely think it's something that aligns with what we do. We do have some cool announcements on that front coming up later in the month. So yeah, let's I'll keep you posted on what happens. Yeah, I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, you don't wanna get in trouble. Yeah.
So is the
Sorry, no, go on.
I was just gonna say is because I know you said the mobile isn't maybe ready yet, but is the game ready for a desktop version or close to it?
Um, yes and no. We've tested it. We had some issues with our game developer. We are currently working with someone else, and we've looked at redoing it. Uh, yeah. So we're currently looking at redoing some elements of it. I don't want to say too much just yet because, yeah, until things are set in stone. But we were supposed to have the alpha out last month, or start of this month. We had, like I mentioned, some issues with our game developer. Unfortunately, we had to let him go. We've brought someone else on board that we're working with. And since we've brought someone else on, we're also looking at sort of new elements to that. And, this is a part of the space. You're going to come across these kinds of things, and you've just got to push on and sort of find who fits right. And we've done a lot of tests and trials with a lot of people, like a lot of people have come on and left the team. And that's okay. Like our community understands and they're patient. We're not really doing the sort of quick quick flip kind of thing. And that's a big learning lesson for us, actually. Making a long-term project uh, is or may not be the easiest thing to do in this space because people don't have that much time. Uh, and people, like if we wanted, we could release a chip or a serum or something. And no disrespect to the projects that do that. I think it's awesome. I think that's great, but we could do that. We could then, create an evolution of our ninjas. But we've got so much lore and such a story set out that we always look at 6 months and 1 year. And we're lucky that the community agrees with that and sort of goes, yeah, look, we can see that you're building something that will be here 2 years down the line. And that's what we're working towards. So that's a big lesson for us. Somehow trying, like, every time we sit down, like the team internally, we talk about how do we make the short term happy? What do we do on the short term front? And finding that balance is super tricky. But we are working on it, and we are doing some cool things soon. But yeah, that's definitely a bit of a challenge. And then I think manga, anime, NFTs are not, like, they've just found their fame in Ethereum with Azuki, and we launched like 4 months before Azuki, right? I think Cardano just there just aren't that many people who are into this thing, and it'll take time, but it'll get there eventually. So I'm not that concerned, but I think in terms of lessons learned and trying to understand, that's how we're going about it.
Gotcha. So somebody asked, and I'll try to pull it up. I can never pull this up correctly. Uh, why doesn't this ever work?
It looks good to me. How
Hold on.
about
I'm trying to pull this question up. I don't know why. There we go. So they want to know, how many ninjas do I need in game to crush Atsuko? Is there a special
So
secret number?
this is standard clan banter, as we call it. I don't know who asked that question. I don't know who that is, but it's someone who's involved in clan banter. Um, Depends which clan they're from. To crush the Atsuko, I can't really say for sure. Uh, but yeah, there's no answer to that question. I don't have a clan, so I can't say for sure. But I like the banter, and I think yeah, you're asking the right questions. That's important. But uh, it'll be a 1v1 fighter essentially. So let's see what happens.
So it'll be like a fighting game?
Yep. So what we were working on so far was a 1v1 8-bit fighter game. Sort of like, like the style of like your Pokemons on the Game Boy and stuff, that kind of thing. But now that we have this opportunity to rethink stuff, with onboarding a new sort of game development section. We are reassessing things, and we'll have some announcements on it once our music stuff is done, because that's the priority at the moment. But yeah, it's looking super cool, and we're working with some amazing people. I just need to hold on to revealing it just yet. But yeah, this is actually the first place anyone will have heard about this, so that's yeah, some alpha right there.
Hey, let's go. Appreciate that.
Now, that's really cool. So working with Billy Martin, do you get to talk to him a lot, or do you get to pick his brain, or is he pretty much just like kind of like a guy you could go to if like um, you need like ideas or collaboration or something like that?
So Billy is an awesome guy, and in terms of speaking to him a lot, yeah, I talk to him on Discord chat a lot. We've had 3 or 4 calls with him, like the team, and I didn't wake up for 3 of them. So we had this because it was super early and I just couldn't make it. And we have this joke now where he's like, if that first call wouldn't have happened, I really think you're a ninja. But Billy's an awesome guy. And we've worked quite closely with him. I've had a lot of conversations with him on how to grow occult archives. We did a collab where he made a ninja in his art style, and we made one of his uh, NFTs in our art style, and we sort of airdropped them to people who held both projects. And our communities are quite interconnected. Like a lot of people in our community hold occult archives, and a lot of occult archives members hold ninjas. So he's an awesome guy, really approachable, easy to talk to. We just asked him. We were like, "Hey, we're Ricardo, who is our music producer with Mirai Music." I was like, "Hey, let's have a chat with Billy. I've been doing some stuff with him." And we just asked him like, "Do you want to do this whole thing with us and do the guitar riff for the song?" And he's like, "Heck yeah, let's do it." So super cool guy, really humble, fun guy. I definitely think he has amazing ideas. Because he's the artist, he does all the art himself, the music himself, he's running the project himself. And I sort of told him, like, mate, spread it out. You can't do everything. Like, you're going to crash, you're going to burn out. It's going to be tough. You need people to be able to manage things when you're asleep, when you're spending times with time with the family. Awesome dude, and it's such a pleasure to have him be a part of the NFT collection and the RMR song. And I kid you not, the song is awesome. And this song is completely different from the first one in genre, but also that uh, some of our community members' voices are in it, and they have been credited for it if they have chosen to docs. Our community has written all of the lyrics. They picked the style of genre and the type of singer as well. So with the NFTs, we're going to take it a step forward for the next song where you will be able to sing a part of the song, maybe do the harmonies if you want to, play an instrument, so on and so forth, get credited for that on Spotify and everywhere, and be a part of the song. So that's just like how we do our manga. The music is the same thing.
So community members are actually going to be able to sing certain parts of it.
Yeah, so in the current song that's going to come out, they've got some background vocals kind of thing. And the next one, it's whatever they can do if they want to. So if maybe they play the bass, and if they wanna have a bass line, we get that bass line on. So it'll really be up to them.
So are some of these community members just like incredible and you're just like, wow, we're going to put this on there? Or is it a lot of auto tune?
So we haven't had anyone sing yet. We have their voices like sort of shouting out the like we've got like a background rhythm of like them shouting out hey, and we've obviously the producers played around with that and made it sound good. Of course, it does have to be a if you're singing, you have to be a singer. If you're playing the drums, you have to have some drumming skills. Otherwise, we're not. What's the point, right? But it's just like, yeah, exactly, mate. Like, what's the point? Like, it's kind of like, you write the story for the manga, or you make the decisions on the manga because that's simple to do, or maybe you're not a story writer but you created some fan art which will feature in the physical manga. So there are lots of opportunities like that. So we wanted to integrate that into the music as well.
That's awesome. We have one more question from the same person. They say, how do you market to the audience who is not necessarily into anime?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think that's why we rebranded to becoming a multimedia entertainment business, right? You don't have to necessarily, and we have a lot of community members like that who don't necessarily like anime or manga, but appreciate the lore. So our story isn't um, cliche, typically Japanese styled anime manga story because none of us are Japanese. um, our story is based on, all of our identity, social experiences, especially Ignacio's and the rest of the team, like Alan and Matt and Nadia, who have a bunch of different uh, backgrounds and where they come from, that kind of thing. So uh, people might just enjoy the story of it because it's not as anime-esque as your regular anime. Some people just like the art because the art looks nice. There is a lot of detail, the time that V puts into it. I don't know how he does it. I can't draw a stick figure to save my life. So credit to him. Some people like the music side of it, right? There are quite a few people who just super pumped on the music side. We have a lot of quiet members who don't participate in everything, but they're really excited for like the game side of things. Uh, some people we do a monthly, sorry, Clan Wars event, which is like Dungeons and Dragons style live game event on our Discord, which impacts the story. Some people just come in for that. Otherwise, uh, they're never involved, right? So we have different elements within our internal ecosystem, which makes it attractive to lots of different people, not just necessarily manga lovers or anime lovers. Yes, that is a key target group, but I'm not going to lie, we're still trying to understand how to get them to come in to this space because there is that hesitancy towards NFTs and crypto within that industry. So that's something we're still learning about and trying to focus on.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And Brandon, do you have anything to say?
Yeah. So are you into anime yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Good.
yeah, of course.
Okay. Can you give me an example, maybe, of of an anime you like that was maybe before your time, and one that was like part of your like childhood, or kind of old school, and then maybe a modern one that people could get into?
Sure. I think in terms of before my time up until I was a kid is probably Dragon Ball Z, like most people. Um, Around that time, like I didn't really watch too much before that. I don't think I've watched a lot of the super old school stuff. And then when I was a kid, Pokemon. When I was a teenager, it was sort of Naruto, Bleach, Death Note. Definitely those three. One Piece as well. Those four. Then I sort of got out of it. Uh, um, Most recently, I obviously I realized like because we started this project because we were like both Tommy and I loved anime when we were kids, like manga, that sort of thing, and then obviously you grow up and you sort of sometimes move away, sometimes you don't. I recently got back into it. I watched Demon Slayer, which was awesome, but for me personally, Attack on Titan is incredible. It has blown me away. I don't think I have seen an anime like it. Uh, I'm a huge fan. I know that the show finale is out this weekend. So I binged the whole thing in the last 3 weeks, and now I've stopped the second to last episode, and I'm gonna watch both of them when the final one comes out. I think Attack on Titan uh, represents so much more in the anime world for attracting foreign audiences. So it really breaks away from the cliche of anime and manga that you have in most shows, like Naruto and Demon Slayer and that sort of thing. And it takes this really dark undertone. And I know that our chief creative officer, Ignacio, is a big, big fan as well. So if anyone watching hasn't seen Attack on Titan, I would say get into it because it's a ride. It is quite a journey. And I don't know if you guys have seen it or read it.
I've seen a few episodes, but unfortunately, when I got into it, I was watching on a website that actually had really bad audio, so I just kind of never found another site to get back into it. So I'm gonna have to ask you offline, where's the best place to watch? But yeah, I am a huge fan of Bleach. I think the first anime that became like my favorite was Death Note because I am an overthinker and I love to think. And that whole series is just like you think you know, but you never know. And Death Note is one of my favorite like all time. Brandon, do you watch anime yourself?
So I actually started with Attack on Titan, and I got like 6 episodes in, right? And with hectic life, you know, I unfortunately did not continue. I found a good like dub version on IMB TV or whatever it is, I think. And but you know, when anime was kind of hitting when I was like maybe 17 or 18. So I was too cool for it. But a bunch of my friends were into it. And so they made me watch like, and I hope I pronounce it right, the old school one, Akira. It's like an old movie, classic movie, I guess. So I watched that. They were super into Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, the only thing I've ever really watched is Attack on Titan. I've heard good things about My Hero Academia, and then like obviously Bleach, Death Note, other things like that. Um, seem to pique my interest a little bit more than I would say others. Uh, you know, but my friend Jake was like, and Tyler were like, My Hero Academia, you got to go on to that one or whatever. And so I've been kind of meaning to get into it. I don't know if it's all on Crunchyroll, if that's even still a thing. That's still a thing. Yeah.
So
So it should be on there.
I was gonna say, yeah, Crunchyroll is the way to go, Atlantic, to answer your question. And start off with a 14-day trial, because it's like $100 a year. It's really cheap. But a 14-day trial, and you have 14 days to finish 86 episodes of Attack on Titan.
I gotta go
That's
hard.
so much.
Yeah, Brandon, if you're into old school kind of animes and like those kind of vibes, I would definitely recommend Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. Those are one of my two favorite animes of all times.
Yeah, so I've heard of Cowboy Bebop. That was on Adult Swim for like the longest time, right? But I was more of like an Aqua Teen Hunger Force guy, just because I could do a Meatwad impression really good, and that's it. But it's like, plus it was silly, right? God, what was that one? Man, I'm trying to think. I can't think of it right now. As soon as I shut my mic off, I swear to everything, I'll come up with it or whatever.
Can
But
you describe it?
uh, dude, I think like Samuel L. Jackson's in it or something like that. Or it's like a little black
Afro
kid. I
Samurai?
forget what is it? Afro Samurai, right?
Afro,
I think.
yeah.
Yes, yes. So I played the video game. I actually liked the video game like a lot. I liked it a lot, and so, but I didn't get to like watch the actual show or anything like that. But yeah, Afro Samurai, cool as hell.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask as well. You pick with the community some of the storylines too. So how do you go about picking the storylines? How does that all work?
Yeah, so there'll be aspects of the story, and look, again, this has throughout the 6 to 7 months, this has been a work in progress. We have tested things, things that have worked, things that haven't worked. We keep trying to innovate and find a new means to do it. Community feedback on what we should do is super important. It's not an easy task because you have to go into production, you have to get the community's feedback. um, and we're still so early in doing this. The natural progression for all storytelling and so on, this is the way it's going to go with film and media, right? But we're just at the very early steps of it, so it might be like, this is a character, this is what they look like. What do you think their personality is like? And then a few options come through, or we give three options and you vote on it. Uh, and then that features in the story. So the most recent one, we just dropped the first volume of the second clan's origin story on our website. And in that, there's an element of these trials that the initiates have to go through to join the clan, and those trials were decided on by the community with the storyteller. So what their name is going to be, what those trials are going to involve, that kind of thing. So they had conversations, they had a Twitter space. So we're still trying to find the most efficient way of doing it, where the community can be involved. And at the same time, we're not spending 20 hours in our week trying to get that one element done, because then, it's not efficient enough for us. So that's the dilemma, but I think we're getting better at it. And I think the community is awesome and super supportive in terms of us trying to figure that out. And they're really, really patient with it as well.
That's awesome. The same person actually has a question about, will you be entering the metaverse at all? Is that a plan?
No comment. Can I leave it at that? No comment? Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah, you can definitely leave it at that. Um, Brandon, you got anything to add to that?
Well, I'll be serious. And on a serious note, I will say no comment in terms of whether we have a metaverse play or not. But in terms of what we consider when looking at the metaverse is, one, it's so early. From what we understand about the infrastructure development, even the best of best metaverse projects are nowhere near what they're promising at the moment. And they probably won't be for another year and a half at least. That's the first concern for us. So we want to see what's going on, who's doing it well, who's not doing it well. I'm not going to take names. I think a lot of them are doing great stuff in Cardano, but also outside of Cardano. I think the other concern is, if you go down your own metaverse route, we look at the two metaverses on Ethereum, Decentraland and Sandbox, right? And these are massive, create your own world uh, metaverses, but for 18 hours of the day, they're ghost towns, right? Nobody's in there, no one's doing anything. Only when Snoop Dogg decides to have his concert, people jump in. But what's happening besides that? Do you want to end up spending $50,000 a month running a server uh, to create this, and no one's going to be there? Uh, for us, what's important on this front is something that's so generic and cliche, which is under promise, over deliver. We don't want to say we're making 3D assets and they're going to be in X metaverse, right? In whichever metaverse project that is. Because if that metaverse verse project never comes to fruition, um, that's a waste of our resources. That's a false promise. Uh, why do that for like short term quick gains and the raising of the floor price, that kind of thing, and not deliver on it? We're not here as an NFT project that's going to do something for 3 months. We're around to make and build things over, like the 1, 2, 3 year plan that we have set up internally and continue to sort of get feedback on from the community. Once we have a better sense of it in terms of us partnering with another metaverse project, we will then consider that route. And we have had a couple of metaverse projects approach us. But we've just said we want to see and monitor. In terms of us, I don't know if they were asking about doing their own metaverse. Look, I think everyone's considered it, but the realistic part of it is at the back end, you're going to be spending thousands of dollars keeping those systems up. Do you want to do that? Is that where you want your money to go, or do you want to focus on your core product? We have a core product. We're not just like first we're making NFTs, and then we'll see where the world takes us, right? If that was the case, we could have really easily just gone first clan 3D version, and now we're partnering with X metaverse project, and boom, And there's no saying that the 3D assets that we create right now will be suited to that specific metaverse, right? So it's almost like then you take another undertaking to get those onto the metaverse. So that's more money spent. So if we went down the metaverse route in terms of us doing it ourselves, it would have to be something like, how does it fit in with our story? How does it align with everything else that we do? How can we make it small enough to start off with that people can enjoy it, and build it gradually in a way where other projects can also be involved, and there is that open world interaction to it, but it doesn't compete with like the myriad of other metaverse projects that there are, because so many of them are essentially doing the same thing, promising something really, really tiny that's different, right? And do we want a Nineveh, Ada Ninjas country that's a ghost town just sitting around? No. What's the point of that? It's probably not the way to go. But if we can come up with maybe a metaverse that has elements of game, and it's realistic and it's something small, and then we continue to scale that, yes. We are obviously introducing a token soon. We haven't talked too much about it, but the token is coming, and to meet the legal requirements around the token, we're looking at relocating the business to another country. And I've said this on a few Twitter spaces. Estonia, Switzerland, and Dubai are the three countries, the UAE are the three countries we're considering. We're still in talks determining our best option. So we don't announce anything until we know we can do it. And that's something we've learned over the 6 months. Under promise, over deliver. We don't know. We're not saying anything about what the token's going to look like. We've just, we have a strategic advisor on board, Kyle, who's helping us with the tokenomics, all of that, how it's going to be used within our universe. But again, you've got to really think through these things step by step, determine if they're worth it or not. Like, I don't want to promise that we'll be partnering with a metaverse project, and then that metaverse project doesn't result in anything. We just promise something and fail to deliver it. So why do that? And yeah, those are my from no comment, I went to let's go on a 10-minute spiel about metaverses.
No, I actually really like that, because I agree with you. And honestly, I would prefer you do partner with a metaverse, obviously, than create your own, just because, like you said, like even the biggest ones on Ethereum are ghost towns. So, the more that you can add to one, the more it's less likely to be unused. And yeah, you're right. It's definitely going to be a long time before we can see anything. Even with Pavia, a lot of people are complaining like, hey, we don't see this, we don't see that. And, then you have the Pavia maxis that kind of come out and get mad. But it's like, dude, these are legit complaints. There isn't anything quite yet. So I really respect the fact that you guys are waiting until there is something that you can kind of gauge before you just jump in and kind of be one of these pioneers, you know?
Right. And so I think what a lot of people miss out on is that, this takes a huge budget. Like, you want to talk about metaverse and building some sort of metaverse or something like that. People, you're not gonna make a metaverse selling, CNFTs for like 20 ADA, 40 ADA, whatever it may be. You're talking, like you said, to keep a server on, like at minimum, 50 grand, you know, and that's just a piece of it, and so, the only thing that I've ever seen, like as far as like a metaverse or some sort of secondary reality life, believe it or not, comes from Boss Cat Rocket Club. I mean, I've looked at, their planets and what they're having and what they're building, and they're showing like actual gameplay of it, which I know people can just make or whatever. But I mean, when you think about it, the logistics of it, right? I think they have enough sponsorship, enough legs underneath them based on even secondary sales and what they've sold already, to create something like this. I could never create like a metaverse, you know, that's just not, that ain't in the budget. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm kind of anxious. I'm really surprised about Pavia, to be quite honest with you, in a way. But like I said, the people who own Pavia also ran CNFT.io, right? And so they were like a little slower on getting things and other things like that. So it's like, well, are they going to drag their feet on this? That was a legitimate concern, and I think anybody who looks on it from not rose colored glasses can see like, well, they kind of drug their foot on this. Like, I wonder what's going on with Pavia, right? Because you're talking millions of ADA spent, right? Millions upon millions, royalties out the wazoo, right? And I don't know what's going on. I've never even bought a single one, because for me, the metaverse is something hokey to me in a way, because it is like what you said. What you have to do is you have to rely on thousands of people all logging in, and if you look at Facebook, the Meta, right, or whatever it is, look at theirs. Like, they have billions of dollars to play with, and it's a ghost town. So I'm really, I'm skeptical about it. I mean, I can see, like, I own a VR headset. Like, I like virtual reality. I feel like there's a space for VR chat rooms and other things like that to bring in characters into that space, But as far as a true metaverse, I just don't see it right now, you know. But that's just me. Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't need
no.
to get on my tangent or whatever, but, talking about something I'm passionate about, I guess. So yeah. What do you think about? There's a project that I've always kind of like looked at, and it seemed like it was like really high quality art, and it's more of like a card, but the Ori, or however you pronounce it. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I was looking at their art, and I was like, okay, this is really cool. It's not like 24K 8 a cool, but that, dude, it's expensive. And so I was wanting to know, to see what you thought about that particular project or whatever.
Isn't there a famous artist behind that? From what I understand, I think it's some really famous artists. They are amazing. Oh, the quality of that art. I can have like without a doubt say this. I think that is the best anime art on Cardano. I can say that I have no hesitation in saying that. Obviously, I don't know. I think they're doing a PFP drop soon, right? They haven't done one yet, like a full-fledged one, or have they?
No, they haven't done one
I
yet.
don't know.
It's
Yeah.
just the cards. Sorry, not feeling very
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
My
yeah.
bad.
That's right. Yeah, look, that's super cool. I dig their art. I haven't looked too much into like a utility and stuff. I don't know if they even have that, but I think it's a good set of art, and that's enough. They don't need to have utility because they are just about the art.
Yeah, that's awesome. So also, Oside has a question about. Whoops. There we go. No, we'll get it one day. All right, whatever. He says, will there be any sort of staking feature down the road?
Yeah, so I think I've mentioned this on the server. Again, haven't revealed all the details because until we don't finalize something, we're not going to talk about it. But if you have a token, you should have staking. And we are pretty close to finalizing the token. So we can announce those things once they're all ready, but it won't start until we've left the business from us, like, sorry, move the business from Australia. We're just not going to start it. So staking is definitely something that's going to be on board. It's something we've been working on really, really hard. We might partner with a company to do that. But yeah, and we're looking at how to gamify the staking as well. Like if you send your ninjas on a quest, right? And they may go and they receive something in return, and it's almost like a gamified element to that. And there's a bit of luck to it as well. So and then a certain amount will you will just stake, and you'll get a reward, which could be in our token, which could be other NFTs. So we're still it's definitely a thing, 100%. I just again I don't want to say too much about it until it's finalized. So then people will
So
quote me on it and be like, "But you said this."
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Technically speaking, no, I get it. I get it. So one thing that I was thinking as far as that goes, like let's say they go on a quest, right? And then there's all different sorts of battle bots you can put inside your server, right? And so maybe you set up a tournament almost, and the winner gets X amount of multiplier on coin or something, whatever it may be, for that particular staking time. Like everybody who enters gets a base value, right, or whatever. I mean, I want to. You guys probably already have your stuff down, so I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but it's just an idea. I'm sure you've thought about it. But that sort of stuff gets me jazzed up. Like the idea process is something that really gets my gears going, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, man, I can relate. It's just sometimes I'm just like, all we're do guys, we've had a 2 hour call when I'm talking to the team, and it's like in those 2 hours we've just talked ideas, right? No actions. But sometimes you have to do that, and it's a really good point that you raise. We have a coin games bot in our server at the moment, and you can collect coins. It's like an in Discord currency, and then based on how many ninjas you hold, you get more coins every day. So you can collect, and then you can do random things like play blackjack. You can work once every 6 hours, get a random amount of coins, and then you can exchange those for like NFTs, merch, maybe XP in the server to give you a higher level. Because if you have a higher level, you have more involvement in the story as well as you do with holding more ninjas. So a whole bunch of stuff like that. And we are looking into like a ninja specific RPG bot. And like I'm sure people know of like Epic RPG and companies like that on Discord who have their RPG games. We're talking to a couple of them to understand what costs and stuff around customization of those bots is. Yeah, so we're looking into it, and it's super cool. If we can bring that in with our game and the staking, and then gamify all of that along with our monthly clan wars, it's quite a mountain to climb, but it could be amazing, and we're trying to do that as much as possible to integrate everything. Yeah.
So you can already use those coins to purchase NFTs?
Yeah, so it's sort of like yeah, you redeem them, right? Um, we don't get them; they just go into oblivion. So it's not like a full thing. Excuse
Bless you.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm a bit ill as well. So yeah, but to get an NFT, it's quite a high, like you've probably got to do a month of play to do it because it's not a proper token, right? If it was a proper token, it's a completely different story. But it's been a great testing mechanism for us to also see what works, what doesn't work, what are the sort of things people do. And interestingly, it is by far our busiest channel on Discord. Our chat may go quiet after 6 months of being around, but Coin Games does not get quiet. I see people on there with ninjas who I've never seen speak, like never ever, right? But they're in there and they're playing roulette. And there's a famous guy, and I want to give him a shout out. He's probably not even watching, called Viking73. And this guy holds like, 10 ninjas or something, and he's in there like 24/7. Whenever I go in, I'm like, Viking is playing. Like, it may even be a she. Sorry, I shouldn't judge, but Viking 73, they are always at it. So even now, like as I'm talking here, I see like a couple of people playing. So it's really interesting. Like if more people can bring in that automated interaction, uh, and with mechanisms like staking and like these gaming elements, this space is going to boom and more people are going to come into your projects. So we are looking at some really, really interesting stuff. Um, and I think, yeah, look, we just rather we do it gradually and announce it gradually than rush through and just do it for the hype. Like yeah, I don't believe in that way of working through things.
No, go ahead. I mean, if you got to say something, baby.
No, yeah, it's all you, man. It's all you.
So, you know, I think what is something that you could do? I know you guys have a particular art style, and that's very good. What's something you can do to maybe um, what are some things that you thought about that did not work? Like what did not make the director's cut? You know what I'm saying? Like what's an idea you had that maybe like didn't work or artistically or something that was really great you might do in the future but didn't necessarily work for right now?
Very easy thing that comes to mind at the moment is a serum, a chip, or something of that sort. We thought a lot about it. Airdrop a bunch of these to holders, or like if you hold three, do it. But we almost felt like we're going with the trend and we'll have to force it into the story. Do we want to force something into the story, or do we want something to come out organically from it? Because I think that the one thing we have that a lot of projects don't have is IP, and a lot of it. Um, we have, 130 pages of manga now. We've got a 20-page light novel. We've got our wiki set up, which has so much other background information, all that sort of stuff. So how does a serum or a chip come in and then you go from one clan to another clan? It just doesn't make sense. And we don't want to drop a mutated version of an existing clan for no reason, right? Just an extra collection. So that was one thing where we were like, look, if we did this, like it'll bring in the hype. A lot of people are doing it. Maybe I don't know what the community would like it or not. Like we never asked them because we just didn't even want to move forward with it. So that was one thing that definitely didn't make the the director's cut for sure. We get a lot of insane ideas. We've looked at something, and I don't think anyone knows about this. Is we were thinking because in our world you've got the ninjas, you've got the forgotten spirits who are like these ghosts, and you've got civilians because the country of Nineveh is a country of like 200 million people situated between Papua New Guinea and Japan from the south to the north, right? That's where it's based. And you've got the civilians. Would it be worth doing like an airdrop of civilian NFTs? This is something we went into concept design for, right? And we were like, what if we airdrop these to all the holders and they can maybe use it for something else? But we were just kind of like, well, what's the point? Um, why? What will we do with these? What's the purpose? Yeah.
So, okay, I have an idea. All right, just vibe with me on this. All right. So you drop civilians, but those civilians are like merchants, right? And certain merchants yield you goods that you can use in either battle or whatever it may be. Um, that can sell you certain things, right? When you stake them or whatever it may be. What I don't know, figure out the use. You know what I'm saying? But like, civilians. I mean, it's possible. It depends. What do you want to do with them? You know.
I agree. I agree. And I think that's a cool idea, right? But just me now reflecting on everything I've told you guys today, I'm like, I don't want another thing. Please. I do not want to have to worry about getting another thing in right now. We've got so much on, and just
Yeah.
managing that alone is. But look, I think that's a cool idea. Like if you stake with a merchant, you may be able to, get an added amount because the merchant or is a blacksmith or something of that sort, and they're making weapons, so you get an added percentage of the token when it's returned, right? So that's something that could actually fit in really well. But for us, it's like, we have our fan art collection. If you are a Ninjas holder and you do some fan art, we mint it for you. All of our manga is minted at when it's released and then airdropped. We have our crossovers, so where we've done these one for one NFT with others. Then we have our concept art one where we airdrop concept art designs, all of that. It's hard on JPEG Store now. Now with the Music Pass NFTs, we're not even calling them Ada Ninjas. They're just RMR sound waves because we don't want everything to show up when you type Ada Ninjas on JPEG Store and then people get confused. Uh,
Yeah,
so
there's like
what?
five different
Yeah,
things right now. Sorry. Yeah, there's like five different
yeah,
things. You can just
exactly.
type in Ada space ninjas and like you'll see like okay, here's the clan, here's the clan, here's the manga which is great. Like that shit is sorry, that's high quality stuff. I got to say. The art inside there is chef's kiss. It's very good.
Thank you,
Very
thank
very
you.
good.
Yeah.
Bravo on that.
I've done so much myself. So much of that is me solely. No, I joke. I joke. It's let me shout them out. Ignacio, Artie, Juan, Apollo, and then the writers, Alan, who am I missing? Matt and Nadia. It's them, and then of course the community. Without these eight or nine sets of people, we couldn't have done what we're able to do on that manga front. And now it's about getting that manga out and presenting it to manga communities. So we reach out to manga producers and stuff like that without even mentioning NFTs. Like we have a manga, because the moment you mention NFT, they're like, oh my God, what do you mean? Right? So you don't need to bring it up because it's true. We are a manga business. We are also an NFT business. We're also a music business. But thank you. Thanks for the kind words. I appreciate it. And these guys are amazing at what they do. I don't know how they do it. I'm baffled every week at the amount of creativity they have. It's just mind blowing.
Yeah, I was curious about because you make these stories with the community, and then it takes time for your writers to kind of put it all in and make it really nice, and then kind of dish it back out as a full product. For the anime, though, are you waiting for like a further developed story before you try to make some videos and stuff like that?
Yeah, so an anime is a completely different ball game, right? Because you talking about like 3 episodes of 20-minute anime could cost you like $300,000 if you want to do it properly, right? So it's crazy expensive. If you're looking at a series like a season of 20 episodes, that's a couple of $1 million. Um, but so we obviously probably cannot do that in-house. However, what we can do is create the lore, continue to build the IP, produce the manga, get the story and script written. So Ignacio comes from a film production and film writing background. He's done a lot of that, and we have some good connections in that space. So everything we've been advised is build up your lore, your story, all your content, uh, so that when you go and sit down with a producer, you're like, well, here's the manga, here's the 40-page script. Here is they don't care about, unfortunately, they don't care about the fact that a community helped you make it, right? Because they haven't even started thinking of where we are in the Web3 world. They care about, you've already trialed it with an audience, they liked it, you've already got like hundreds of pages of story and it's good. You've created everything, we just need to produce it. All right, well, we'll license it off you. um, we'll pay you like 60% of everything goes to you, 40% to us, whatever the numbers are, and boom, we're gonna make it happen. That's it. So that's what we have to look at. And we could go give that manga right now. We've got the uh, contacts ready. So, dropping names like Amazon and Netflix, like we know people who know people in these spaces, right? But do we want to go to them right now with 110 pages of manga and a 20-page light novel? No. Uh, we want to go to them when we've got scripts and scripts ready. We want the manga to be published physically to reach a bit of reputation before we approach them, because with some of these people, it's one shot or you're out. And we want to make sure that that one shot counts. So we'd rather, this is what our holders and our community always say, like, we believe in the long-term vision, which is why we're not fussed about what is happening today or tomorrow, right? Or next week. We're looking at what this means a year down the line, and that's what we're focusing on.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense.
Um, so how how long do you think it'll be until your music is out? Do you
So the
know?
first song is out. Oh,
Yeah.
the second song, so the NFTs drop on the 1st of April, and then on the 7th of April, the song goes live. And then we get to work on the third song. So because there's a community involvement process in it, the community driven process, we'd rather it take time and come out gradually. We're already doing a lot of background stuff. So like currently you can read our manga on like a flip page turner on our website. We're adding music to that to make it a more immersive experience. So as you're reading and as you flip the pages, the music goes with what the story's about. So that's something we're doing. So we're creating some of that background instrumental stuff like that. Um, so the music will continue to come out, and I think what we want to do with the music is, as it continues to come out, we want to bring in bigger artists to do this. And there are lots of musicians who are into anime, a lot of hip hop artists who are into anime, and I think with genres, our first song is a very sort of uh, modern pop R&B, weekend style, Dua Lipa style song. The second one is completely different because that's what the community voted on. It's very anime. That's all I'll say. It's actually if anyone goes on our Twitter and sees the tweets with the artists about the NFTs, the 500 NFTs that are dropping, they've got music in them, and you can hear the music, and that'll tell you what that's from the actual song. They might just be instrumentals, but yeah, it's very sort of punk rock anime, and it's super fun, and it's so fitting to have someone like Billy Martin on it, because that's the genre that he, that was his thing. So yeah, look, the music will continue to come out. Again, uh, we could release we could release 8 songs in 2 months, right? Uh, Release a complete OST, but would it be community driven? No. So we have to sacrifice. We've had to sacrifice that short term hype element, and that's just something that's involved with our project and all the decisions we make. However, um, we know that if we continue to do what we're doing and uh, stick around for the long time, like it's gonna work out. Like we're pretty confident in that because of the people around us and the sort of stuff that people keep telling us and reassuring us. Because it's not easy. Like I'm sure you'd know, like it's not easy being a project founder, right? There are days where you're just like, what the heck, man? Like I put the last 6, 7 months of my life into this, and this is all I do. This is all I talk about. And then someone comes in and they're like, "Who the heck are you?" Right? I think we're still, like with us, we're still fortunate in that we're really big in terms of our socials and people know about us because we were in the space quite early. But now you have like new people coming into the space who go like, "What's Ada Ninjas?" And to me, that's like, whoa, like it's come to that point now. That is fascinating, right? That is so fascinating to see. Like
Absolutely.
someone join. Yeah.
The heresy. I can't believe it. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're doing it right. Have you ever thought that some people I know like reading, some people are on the go, like myself. Have you ever thought about having somebody doing a voiceover of, the lore part, to where they could just hear a voice reading to them so they can get caught up? Because if there's a lot there, then, you know, there might be something worth doing.
Are you sure you're not on my team and we just haven't met?
No, 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 no. But like, so I feel like in one essence, there's a part of me that's like, okay, I should have my own project or whatever it may be. But then there's another part of me that's constantly like, the wheels are churning. Even if it's not for myself, it's for somebody else, to where it's like, okay, let's let's push it. Let's do something else. Let's make it more convenient. Let's make it
Sorry,
easy. You know?
I think you didn't get me there. What I meant by the sarcasm was, are you already on my team? Because we're thinking of exactly the same things you keep mentioning.
Right.
I hope that's what got
Right.
conveyed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
that's what you
Yeah. Yeah.
thought. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, all
Right.
right, yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, my wheels are constantly churning. What can we do? So when you're talking about, staking something or whatever it may be, well, okay, I'm automatically thinking like, okay, so what can we do, to make this like a thing? And so I always thought like, well, if you're somebody on the go, right? Like some people don't have time to watch this, but I imagine that if you're mowing your lawn or if you're, just hanging out at night and you're drawing or whatever you may be doing, knitting. I'm not here to judge, you know what I'm saying? But I figure most people aren't actually like physically maybe watching us. And so, but they're listening. And so that would be where that voice would come in, I guess you would say. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. I agree. Yeah.
Gotcha. So it's like an idea, but you don't want to say too much just because it's not there yet. I feel you. It's kind of, yeah, the vibes I'm getting. And yeah, I would say the same thing goes for just like commuting. A lot of people commute to work. before I did this full time. I was commuting about 2 hours in the car every day to work, and the longer the video for CNFTs, the more likely I was to click on it, so that I could listen to it without looking at my phone throughout the entire drive. So yeah, something like an Audible or something. I would love that personally.
So yeah, look, I think with the manga, it's a bit trickier, but when we start doing stuff like with our Origin light novel, when we had that come out before we launched the first set of NFTs on Medium, right? Back in the day. Now it's all on our website. Now we're like, we've got this content, we can make it into a light novel and physically, sell it on Amazon, whatever it might be. That having an audio component is something we're looking at for sure, 100%. With the manga, it's something that's been a bit trickier because it's like, how much time do we then spend on describing the story of the manga in the audio? Because if you're not able to see it, then it's a lot of work, and we're always looking at it like from a cost benefit analysis, and like if it takes up that much time for us, maybe in the future, right? What we are doing soon is we are doing the first edition exclusive copies of the of volume one of the manga, which will be with NFT Link, if you guys are familiar with them. Um, so it'll have the chip attached, and you'll have your certificate of authenticity. That's coming out really soon, and yeah, that's going to be cool because that'll be our foray into the physical world in terms of manga. But I like the audio idea, and that's something we've been thinking of for a long time. We started doing that in our uh, live Dungeons and Dragons style thing as well, where all the text would also be read out. But it took up so much time, right? And for like 80 to 90 people attending, it's kind of like, should we be spending all this time doing this when it can be used on something else? So it's all trial and error. I think on the light novel front, the audio way to go about it is a must, no doubt about it. And not just so that, some people are like commuting and can't read, but also for visually impaired people, so that they can be a part of the community and they can be a part of the journey. That's super, super important. So I agree 100%.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was a really good idea. I didn't even think about that, Brandon.
Well, thanks. So sorry to get off track, right? Just kind of a palate cleanser, if I may. What is the most excited you've ever been, not for a drop of your own, right? Because I know what that's like. Nick, you know what that's like. Like, drop day is the best. Oh, I can't hear him. Can you not hear me? No. Is it my fault? Is he muted? Can you guys not hear me?
He's not muted on my end. Let's give
One
his a
second, he
second.
said.
Yeah.
That is, I think that's the universal sign for 1 second. His headphones died, probably.
We can't hear you.
No, can't hear you. Okay, good. No, that's not good. Everybody wants to hear you.
Maybe it's like a battery powered microphone or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't know. We still can't hear you, man. Sorry.
he's getting rugged. He got rugged. The official rugging, the first rugging on the Lucky Ocean podcast. Great. Had to happen sometime, right, Nick? That's the way it
Yeah,
goes.
I guess so. Uh, yeah, sorry, man. I don't know what's going on. If it's is it on your end? Do you think?
He paused his thing.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
can you?
He's gonna come.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
you were there
Oh,
for a sec.
Yeah,
Gone?
He's
Am I
here.
still
You're
here?
you're there. You're there.
No, you're good. You're
Okay.
good.
My pods ran out. So
Okay.
then
Yeah.
everything just stopped. Yeah, the I don't
Gotcha.
know why the mic stopped as well, but yeah. Sorry, you were asking me a question, a palate cleanser, as that's what I last caught.
So yeah. So a palate cleanser. So we've all been a part of drops. Like Nick had his, you've had yours, I've had mine. Um, Besides those, because we all know how crazy drop day can be, like it's awesome. What a great feeling. Chat's going wild, everybody's having fun. What is the most hyped you've ever been for a drop, not your own?
Ooh, let me
And it doesn't
open
have to
up
be a
my wallet.
huge,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it doesn't have to
Let
be
me
huge.
look
Like,
through
you don't
my
have to be
wallet
like,
to remember. Yeah.
This is kind of like what is your favorite project, at the same time, because it's kind of like if you're
no,
the
no, no,
most.
no, it's not. It's not. The most hyped I was ever for a project, and let me make this very clear, was very upset. I was heartbroken. Looking back at it, even when I was clicking buy on there, I was like, why the hell am I buying this? It was Coco Locos. Coco Locos. I was like so hyped. I was out of my gourd. I was following Dan on social media, and I was like, bro, I can't wait for this to drop. This is gonna be great. And then I looked at the art, and I was like, man, this is not great, but I'm still gonna buy. I'm still hyped. Let's go. Rally the troops. And then boom, nothing happened. It was, I would say, the baby apes as well. I got hyped for baby apes out of my mind.
You're
Like I
talking
was
about
like,
the Cardano apes, with the ape lands and all that.
no, 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 no. This was back in the day, a little bit. The baby apes. So you had the 3D apes, you had the 2D apes, and you had baby apes. I wanted the baby apes so bad. And now I was like, well, whatever. I don't know.
Are they still
But
around?
go ahead. I'm sorry. What?
So,
Here, we'll let Aiden Ninjas go. I was just asking if they were still
Okay.
around.
No one knows.
so I actually had a sad experience, to be honest. There was a project called Dehumanizer that I was really hyped about. I don't know if you guys know them. Uh, and some of the people in our community were super hyped about them as well. And they had amazing 3D sort of like Star Wars-ish kind of art with like these little creatures and stuff. And I bought a few, and they slow rugged. But then last week, another project launched with exactly the same art, and myself and a few community members busted them. So I was really happy because I shared it with my mates on in our community, and I'm like, wait, isn't this dehumanizers, guys? And they're like, oh my god, it is. So we started tweeting about it, and I think they got Cardano Lounge onto it because Cardano Lounge were gonna add them to their list, and some influencers even did some giveaways with them. And I'm like, whoa, hold up, this is the trailer is shot from the same angles as the dehumanizers one, and the dehumanizers. So one of the guys in our community, Willow, put up a tweet with the dehumanizers video and then this new projects video, and then I started commenting on it. I shared it in like all the different community sort of creator channels and servers and stuff. And then the dehumanizers Twitter disappeared, right? And I was like, busted. This is it. And they never sold out and stuff. I get it. They maybe only sold like 20%, but they had such a good project. I don't think they needed to make a new one. And now they've shut down everything. Everything's been deleted. So I was bummed about that, but I got redemption last week, so I was really happy.
Nice. I would say I haven't actually heard about dehumanizers either. But I would say my hypest one was either my very first one with Cardano Kids, which didn't do too well, but I'm happy that Pavia bought them. Who knows? Maybe they do well in the future. And but other than that, I'd say probably Disco Solaris, just because I was whitelisted and I got to get in before all the crazy things happened. So I got my 3, and then I saw like their floor price was like 300 like instantly, and I was like, oh, I finally got a good NFT. This is so hype, and I got really excited about that. So
And then I
In
was
terms
the
of,
guy. This
yeah,
is Go ahead.
no,
I
no,
was
go
the
on.
guy
Sorry.
who bought that. I was the guy who bought his NFT for 300 at the start. And then I watched the floor slowly go down to 60 and I wanted to rip my hair out. So,
appreciate you, man.
yeah, I'm always here for you, bro.
Thanks, bro.
I made some good money on the cornucopias bubble jets. So I minted 2 of them, and yeah, I think I got one. I don't know. They had like some different rankings, right? And there was like rare, but it wasn't a super rare. So I think overall, I made like, yeah, a good 500 ADA off of the ones the 2 I minted there recently. That was good. Um, I'm really bummed because a project I was super hyped about, who have officially sold out, and congratulations to them, is Ada Army. Uh, just because I could not wake up at 5 a.m. and I was sick, so I forgot to tell anybody if they could mint for me. Uh, yeah, I love the Ada Army team. Awesome, yeah, awesome guys over there. Love what they do. I think, yeah, coming up, I don't know. It's hard for me. Like I generally don't end up minting myself because of timings, and to stay in loop with the timings is tricky as well, with so much going on my end. So I often just buy off the secondary if it's something that I like and want to hold on to. Like, I've got Claymates and Goats, stuff like that I really like. I did mint like 5 Bajewski, because they're cool with their vampires. Yeah, they've got some cool stuff, and I know their creator. Obviously, they're a comic book project, so they sold out. That was nice. I'm holding on to 4 of them, but I'm going to sell my rank 186 so I can make some nice ADA. Because what I'm trying to do is, without spending any of the ADA that I've made from ADA Ninjas, I want to get into the Faha 100 club, but the floor on that is like 7,000 or something. So I'm like, I will only join if I'm able to flip NFTs that I buy, so that I make it something that I've achieved, because that's one club I want to get into. And then I'm in the Winged Warriors Discord as a creator, but I want to be able to buy a Winged Warriors CBIT as well. Both of those are like 7,000 ADA floors each. So that's why I'm flipping some NFTs at the moment. So let's see how that journey goes.
So, what about, have you gotten into Space Buds? Do you hold
No,
a Space
that's
Bud?
another one. I don't. That's another. That's one though where I'm like, I'll just spend some of the ADA from my ADA Ninjas earnings, or like
Okay.
final cut that I made. Yeah, I think Space
Right.
Buds is, every time I look at it, I'm like, should I? I didn't when the floor was like way lower,
Mm-hmm.
and now the floor is higher. And maybe I'm just like, maybe I should just go in and buy one. The reason I want to get into the Faha 100 is just like the exclusivity, in terms of the people you get to have conversations with and stuff. And I'm already in a
Right.
few of those servers at the moment. But yeah, I think I need Space Buds for sure. I've got a Clay. Um, yeah, I think I'll get an Unsig at some point. So, I collect, but right now, with the mints, I'm usually flipping. That's not a very, I don't know if that's a good thing, if people would look down on me being a creator and flipping, but I hold the projects I believe in. Uh, and,
Yeah.
we've all got to make a quick
buck. I do this full time now, so it's part and parcel
Right.
of it, right? What about you guys? Do you have
Right.
space buds?
I have two.
I do not, but I do have two clays, so I'm happy enough with my two clays.
Okay. Did so when we minted, because I think what happened was I minted on the second, and you minted, I think, right after that, didn't you? October, I want to
Minted what?
say, like Ada Ninjas. So we minted on the second. You
Yep.
minted on like the fourth, right, or something like that, or the fifth.
Yeah, the eighth, I think. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Dude,
It was
space
really
buds were
close. Yeah,
800 ADA. Just think about that.
I know, I know.
You know,
I don't want to. It saddens me.
and then so now, yeah, and my thing is, if you look at it now, so we finally through Milkometa, right? They've now bridged the gap between Ethereum and ADA, and so naturally, I feel like it might not happen immediately. You know, um, that people would somewhat switch, but now would be a heck of a time to really get into the lab and try to figure out something crazy for when these people want to merge over, or whatever it may be. And when you think about it, like we're OGs in the space now. You know what I'm saying? Like there's new projects and everything like that. And people who met in October, like nobody knows what happened between April and, you know, um, October, September, October, right? You had Clay Nation and the Claymates. You had a bunch of those drops, and then you had kind of the rough ones that happened in August or whatever, and then you know September came, and then October came, and so I feel like we're OGs in the space because right before us was Tiger Society and uh, the Baby Apes, and you had the Claymates and Clay
Planet
Nation,
Pals.
Planet Pals, which I got into Planet Pals as soon as it dropped. That was like one of the first things I did. That and Stellar Hoods. I don't know if you guys. I think who was it? Cardania was talking about it last time. Egon. Um, he's one of like geniuses in the space. Like if you get a chance to talk to him, talk to him. I think he's based out of Germany as well. And so, like I got into Stellar Hoods, and that was pretty awesome. And but yeah, we're OG, man. Like that's the thing in the space. Like we're considered OG. Eh, Instead of getting a Faha 100, did you get into Equine?
No, I didn't. Maybe I'll buy off the secondary. I don't know. Maybe I should have. Again, like I forget to mint things very often. Um, and I just mint and I hold. And I think as of as of a month ago, I've really started minting things again, but I haven't been buying off the secondary much. So I need to get back into that. But I've sort of taken out a small budget and I'm like, I've got to make this work. I'm not going to touch anything else. And I've got to be able to flip buy the things I want to hold. And the other stuff is like for my actual survival and living, right? So I'm trying to find that balance where I don't just throw in money. But the point you raise is interesting. And I had a question for you guys, right? Since we are OGs in this space, what is a project that really disappointed you, uh, but today they've redeemed themselves in your eyes?
I'm gonna have to think about this for a minute.
Okay, I can start if you guys want to have a think. Okay, now go for it. Yeah.
No, you can definitely go first. I need a minute.
Okay. Uh, So I never bought into this project, but there was so much hype around them, and they launched like 2 days before us. I had a terrible time with, I think, half of their team left and half of their team stayed on and brought new people on. Um, Hoolies, Stone Age hooligans. Oh, yeah. Uh, with all their issues, everything that they had, I think a lot of people were pissed. I remember chatting to their old team and saying, "Hey, we should do something together. We're both dropping in a week." And the response I got from one of their team members was, "I'm sorry, I'm busy with my own project." Right? So yeah, it was really funny. Anyway, the other team members then apologized to me because I raised that to them. However, they messed up, right? Because they stole all this stock images and stuff like that. But if you look at their new team, like half of the new team, they have done everything. They've done breeding, they've done staking, they've done burning. Like everything's happening. It's not like they haven't stopped. And so much so where I'm always like, should I just buy a couple of hoolies? Because they're a comeback story that people don't recognize or talk about. They really, like, they went down to 8 ADA, right? On CNFT.io. People were giving them out for free. And they've done so much more than like male hoolies, female hoolies, baby hoolies, the invaders. You stake them, you get something in return, you get another NFT in return, and you know, they're starting all this other stuff. I'm really impressed. Whenever someone hates on hoolies now, I'm like, hey, you could hate on what those people did then, but everyone who's come on board and worked with the existing team members, they flipped it, and respect to those guys. I have a lot of respect for the Hoolies team, and I'm saying it here, even though I don't own a Hoolie. I'm still in their server, and they're grinding. They're at it. They're keeping the project alive. So credit to them for sure. Absolutely love what they've done, and for the fact that if I look back at big projects with that hype at that time, who had like, you know, like a reservation of like 10,000 people in transactions, right? I don't think there are a lot around anymore. Hoolies are, so credit to them, right? I get shout out to them. Yeah.
Yeah, hooligans, I remember them. I minted them. Actually, this was, I think, the very first project, or the second one, that I actually got my dad to mint. Because I was talking to my dad about, you know, flipping NFTs, and I was like, you know, I feel like there's a lot more money to be made here than even in crypto or stocks. And, you know, my dad made a little bit of money on Dogecoin after he listened to my advice there. So he was just like, kind of like, I don't understand any of this, but just tell me, will I make money? And I was like, Dad, it doesn't work like that. Like, it's kind of a risk. And he's just like, whatever, are we doing it or not? And I was like, yeah, man, we're going to do it. Like, it's our first one. Let's dip our toes in. So we bought one each. And then I kind of looked at the floor and I was like, okay, you know, a lot of these usually go down in value. Let's just like sell it instantly. Let's see if we can make like 25 ADA or something like that. And so we both listed it and we both sold ours like instantly for 25 ADA. And I was like, okay, cool. Maybe we shouldn't have done that because, you know, they flip so quick. And that's like the first project that for me has even flipped that quick. So, you know, I was like, I don't know. And then woke up the next day, saw the news and saw the floor price. And I was like high-fiving him, like, let's go. But yeah, I'm really happy that they're doing well now. And I remember thinking to myself too, like, their mistake was pretty innocent, if I remember correctly. Like, they didn't remember, or at least this is what it came across to me. It seemed like they didn't know that some of their images were stock until a bit too late. And then they tried to change some of them. And I know even after the mint, there was like their rainbow bandana. And that was the one that was still stock, I believe. But then they said that you could trade it in, give it to them, and they'll fix it for you. So yeah, I agree. Hooligans is, you know, top notch for trying to do their best to fix their mistake. My project, I would say, as far as just price, because I had stupid expectations, were Mutant Crocs. They were actually one of the first projects I even covered as a YouTuber, and they were really nice to me and gave me a shout out and actually started my following. So huge shout outs to them. Great team, great group of guys. And then, I bought the two. I think they were 40 mint price, something like that. And then they fell down to like 25 or 35 like a day after mint. And then I bought like one or two more on the floor. And I was just like, I guess I'll just hold because they kept going down. And my thing was like, all right, if I'm going to buy NFTs, a lot of these NFTs, they get their value months later. So I was just like, I'm not going to sell for a loss, who knows, a month later, 2 months later. And yeah, crazily enough, they went absolutely apeshit. So, huge shout outs to the Crocs.
So for me, uh, Stone Age Hooligans is actually a really good one. I did not actually get into them per se, but I knew people that got into the Gingerbread Squad, right? And so that was very unfortunate for those people, and it sucks. And I know they have a new team now, and it looks like their art has kind of taken a really good turn. They've actually like improved. I think that I don't know if it'll ever catch on. That's the thing is I think fool me once, but I think the team behind them has a really good intention. And so Stone Age Hooligans is probably a good one. I remember everything, dude, every time in every Discord. Ow, all the time, dude. That's all I would hear. And like you'd see it in the chat, and it was just like they would be going crazy. It was the same thing, and it was cool. Like I looked at it. I haven't checked them out recently. Like maybe I should, for sure, just to see what's out there, what's possible. But yeah, a team that I think works tirelessly, that hasn't stopped, that really grinds a lot and doesn't get as much recognition as their grind uh, allows, I guess you'd say, would be the Ada Ape Club. Like they're more like a cartoon style ape. You know what I'm saying? Almost like humanoid style ape. But dude, they've done so much. Like they've had like 4 or 5 drops in a matter of months. And like they're doing a coin staking. They've done the banana chips. They've done literally everything you can possibly do at this point. Um, so I mean, we'll see what happens there. I know my buddy Rafriki is pretty big into them or whatever, and so uh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But that's probably my biggest concern was Gingerbread Squad. I never really got into them. Full disclosure, I wasn't really big into the first art that happened, but I just know that I looked at the project recently and I was kind of surprised with the uptick in the art and stuff like that, and they came back, so that was pretty cool. Um, but Hooligans, man, you knocked that one out of the park. I gotta say, that one was because I totally forgot, and then I was like, oh yeah, that was like, dude, they were all over the place, dude. Everything infested with hooligans, and it was like, okay, well, I gotta mint some hooligans or whatever now. Is there any mints like you're really hyped up for? Like I know Mad Dog Car Club is gonna be like a mint. And from what it seems like a lot of people are into it. Is that something you're looking into, or are you gonna watch from the sidelines?
Is isn't it crazy? Like, isn't their server insane? Like, I don't even know if it's worth the effort for me to wake up at 3 a.m. to mint. Uh, I don't know. I'm gonna ask if someone from our amazing community is minting and would like to mint me a couple. uh, yeah, it's looking big. It's looking really really big. And I don't know why. I don't know much about the project. Um, are you guys looking into it? Are you guys whitelisted by any chance? Have you
Go ahead.
grinded
Go
on their
ahead. Go
Discord?
ahead, Nick. Say it.
Oh man, man. I think because I was into Boss Cat Rocket Club before I mean, I was super late to the party, to be honest, but as soon as I shouted him out in my Discord, this was back when I was a little bit smaller, and I had some, like, my tight niche people kind of with me. They were like, hey, man, this actually looks like a rug pull. A lot of people in the community are calling it a rug pull. And I was like, what? This looks like the greatest project ever. And then they started telling me, like, why. And I was like, ah, man, maybe you're right. And then so, like, I started, like, looking into it a little bit more. And then I come to find out I forgot to send in my wallet address for the whitelist, even though I grinded for it. So I couldn't even mint if I wanted to. And I was like, crap, this really sucks. So I was like, I don't know, I guess I'll just watch and see what happens. And then, to the moon, right? And I was just like, damn, like that was my moment. I knew it. I grinded for it. I just forgot the whitelist. So for me, I'm kind of looking at it like, okay, they have similar whitelist recommendations, or requirements rather. They have similar, with their car parts and their launch. And, Smooth Yeti Club is actually doing something very similar too with their snowmobiles. So, and that project's doing really well. So this format is going strong. I think all we really need is for it to not be a rug pull, and success is there. That's what I'm thinking. So as long as they continue to be there, I'm going to be happy. Obviously we'll not know until a few days, maybe weeks after the mint, but I'm gonna, try to buy my 10. I have top dog, and I'm gonna try my absolute best to mint all 10, and fingers crossed. Brandon, you're still muted, by the way.
Okay, no, I'm not. Okay. Yeah? No? Yeah? Okay. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to mint my 10. And if anything starts selling, the floor starts dropping anywhere below mint, please believe I'm going to sweep that. I'm going to sweep it up. Call me to dust on Sundays, because guess what? I'm sweeping up. I ain't being stupid this time. All right,
They
you
don't
can't
call
fool
my
me.
cleanup for nothing.
Exactly. So it's like I'm gonna be sweeping. Okay. Call me the janitor,
When is the
whatever you want to
drop?
call me.
I believe it's the
April
8th.
8th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
So
guys. I'm getting in then. Yeah, thank you.
Hey.
yeah.
Not financial
See if
advice.
I'm
see
getting
if
in. I have nothing to lose. Yeah.
are you gonna whitelist? Can you whitelist? Are you whitelisted?
I think it's too late for me on that front.
No. Just talk to one of the guys. Be like, I'm from Ada Ninjas. You know what I'm saying?
I'm kind of a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal, dude. Like, look at this. All I need is a tier 1. That's all you got to say. He'll boot somebody out, I'm sure of it. Just not me.
Let's
It better
try
not
it.
be me.
Hey, somebody
I
clip
don't
this
know.
and send it over to him. Maybe we can get Ada Ninjas a little bit of whitelist spots. I don't know.
Yeah, let's I may or may not do that, not saying. But yeah, it's gonna be cool for sure. It looks like a crazy project. Similar vibes to Boss Cats. I didn't get into Boss Cats. I have two or three Boss DAO tokens though now. Just why not? I love the community. I know that Ada Ninjas had its issues back in the day with BCRC. There was some, like, I think they started banning anyone with a Ninjas profile picture because all of our people went in to ask questions, controversial questions, because they like doing that kind of thing. But I got banned. I wasn't asking any questions just because I had the thing. But yeah, it's okay. What's done is done. Doesn't matter. I like their community. I know a lot of Boss Cat Rocket Club community members who have ninjas. I believe in the community, which is why I bought into Boss DAO. And I'm excited to see what happens there and how that works. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've not been in a DAO. I don't think we have real DAOs just yet anyway. But we'll see what happens. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of DAOs, have you been seeing Ape Society lately? Holy crap. It hit a floor of 2,000 today.
But for what though?
The Ape Society? No.
Right, for what? When
What do
did
you?
it hit a floor of 2,000?
Their floor was 2,000 ADA.
I know, that's what I'm saying. What for?
Oh, why is what you're saying?
Yeah, why?
Oh,
What
oh.
for? What happened?
Well, they released their staking and how you're going to start earning some of their coins, and they also released their cabins recently. So I actually made a video on that today if anybody wants to check it out. I actually didn't talk about the coin staking because it came out like 30 minutes after the video, of course. But yeah, what you can do is if you stake your Ape Society, then you start to earn their token every epoch, but you get a massive, I guess, like distribution if you hold for 10 straight epochs. So massively, like people are delisting and they're going to hold for a full 10 epochs, or at least a lot of people are. I don't know about all of them, but I mean, well, like 2 weeks ago, these things were like 400 or 500 a floor, and now you've already 4x your money from there. So, I don't see why people are really in any rush to sell, especially if you can stake these, get some of their coins, and your profits are going up in value. Like, it just seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I just didn't know what happened, what sort of news came out. I guess I should catch up on your video today. Unfortunately, I was feeling like you had two videos, I want to say, today. Is that correct?
Not today. I don't think so.
Or
I had
maybe it
two
was a
videos
mix from
yesterday.
yesterday.
Because
Yeah,
shout out to the Blind
yesterday.
Girl. Because Blind Girl is actually my artist, and she has her collection coming up on the 30th. So I made a video for her, and then I had the Cardano clans video from the Irish team on that day.
Yep. Okay. Gotcha. And so, yeah, I have to get caught up. I think I'm like two behind right now. Watch the Blind Girl one. Uh, and then I'll get it caught up on your other one, your other two. So, yeah.
Appreciate you.
But uh, church, have you guys heard of Church of Jesus too? I swear to God, I'm not Mormon. This is an actual project, okay? Church of Jesus too. It is, I forget who the animator is, but he's done fantastic work. I want to say it was like Midnight. What is it called? Do you know it, Ninjas?
I don't know. I've seen the art. I know it's some popular artist. I know there's a bit of hype around it. It looks really, really cool. Yeah, for sure. I don't
It's
know too much though. Yeah. I do have to get going, guys, because it's past lunch. Yeah, it's been a couple of hours, and I think I have to have lunch. But
I'm sorry.
this has been awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I don't think I've just. I think it's been. I don't think I've been on a live chat and just chatted about like non-ninjas related stuff. So that's a lot of fun. I love that. Yeah, because there's like sometimes I get to a point where it's like, oh, here I go, repeat again, and it's all memorized in my head. So I
Yeah.
actually like I really enjoyed this. Thank you for having me. It's a lot of fun. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and to the ninjas community, get on and get some lucky lizards, give some subscriptions to it, to Nick. Come on and leave some comments on his YouTube. I'm not doing this one really well. I'm usually super hyped. I'm just a bit sick. But yeah, make it happen. Come on here, show some love. Join in for future live interviews. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And I'm keen to keep in touch and have some conversations offline as well, and share ideas and that sort of thing if you'd be down for it.
Yeah, I would love that. I really appreciate you taking the time to come out here. I'm glad that we got it squared away and you didn't miss it. Yesterday we had a little confusion with the time zones, but it's all good. And yeah, man. Usually I'm kind of like, oh yeah, we're wrapping it up in about 15 minutes, and I just got lost in the conversation. I completely forgot. So appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's all
Thank you
right.
for coming
That's
on,
all right.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. Like seriously, I've had a really great time. And when you said share ideas, I mean, you opened up Pandora's box. You know what I'm saying? So be careful what you wish for. So yeah,
I'm
but
asking
yeah,
because I can see how the ideas flow in this chat, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
I think there is a lot that we can exchange and sort of get
yeah.
information on. So yeah, for sure. Look, thanks a lot once again. Yeah, really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you again
Final
for coming
question.
by. Okay.
Final question.
Yeah.
What's for lunch? What are you having for lunch?
I think it'll have to be some sort of leftovers. I have to go check the fridge. I don't know.
Oh no. All right.
I have to talk to my partner and see what we've got happening. I don't think we've both had time to cook today. So maybe something from yesterday. I don't know. I also tend to do those, like those ready-made health meals that they just deliver
Okay.
to you in one go.
Right.
So I've got a
Okay.
few of those in the fridge. So if nothing, might go down that route. Just because sometimes with time, it's so tricky,
Yeah.
But doing this like 12 hours a day, eight ninjas, like it's hard work.
Yeah.
I always say this to people: if you are criticizing, we've been quite fortunate. We don't get a lot of criticism from people, but there are a lot of projects. We've gotten our share of criticism. It's not like that. But there are a lot of projects that get a lot of hate. I know that when Disco launched, we have mutual admins and community members who are admins on their server. And they got messages like, death to you and stuff like that. And I think it's important for anyone watching and who is not a creator to recognize that genuine creators in this space who have projects put in a lot of hard work and sacrifice a lot in their day-to-day lives. And it's, they are running a business. And the more hate you send them, the less likely they are to continue on with the project. And if they don't have a sort of, they don't have iron skin, they may quit because of the hate. And there are projects where that's happened. So this is a serious issue. And I don't know what, I just came up randomly, but it's always an important one. And I think a good note to end on, that cyberbullying within the NFT space, especially towards creators, can make them do drastic things. And I've had conversations with creators, and I'm not going to take names, where people have been like questioning their being, right? Where it's like, I've given days and weeks and months to all of this, and this is what I get in return. So to community members, you make the space, but be a little empathetic for creators and try to understand what they're going through behind this, behind the facade, and behind the project. Sure, we made a lot of money from a sale, but most of it went back into the project. And we're doing the hard work once the mint is done. And we're doing the hard work simultaneous to as we're minting, right? So there's so many things being delivered. And I think for the community, that's something that, we're quite lucky at Ada Ninjas. Like, the people who believe in us and support us, they understand this. And if I need to take a day off, or a few days off, or I go away with my wife on a holiday, they're like, yeah, man, you deserve it. But some people aren't like that to people in other projects. So please try and be a little empathetic, and try to be a little understanding of what they're going through. And more often than not, it's not a creator's fault that a mint went wrong. We're all human. We all make mistakes, and projects are able to bounce back from it. We bounced back from it. We had 160,000 ADA, or whatever the number was, in a wrong wallet. We refunded all of that plus 2 ADA to each person. Ugly Bros had a similar thing, something similar with the 2 ADA collection. They fixed that up. Projects come back stronger. So yeah, don't hate this place. This space is all about love. and it's all about communities and creators working together and trying to grow. And I've become like a bit of an evangelist here, but it's all about the love and not the hate. So let's make it, yeah. Let's try to make sure that's the way. But anyway, thank you guys for having me. I just thought that was important to share.
Yeah, thank you so
No,
much.
it's great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much. I think that's a great note to end on. I love that. I know everybody, a lot of times they see money and they're just like, well, you made this much money and I didn't get this, so hate. And it's like, okay, guy, like take a step back. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you coming on, and we'll definitely keep in touch. I'll see you guys later, and yeah, thanks once again.
Peace.
Take care. Bye.